qualify for the Stage 2 playoffs, that would mean like a lot for us. I think it's the most important thing for us at this point because we kind of hit a rough patch going into this point of the year. Getting some of that confidence back going into champs, I think can go a long way.
A lot of people are doubting us, maybe even overlooking us this event. You know, I think a lot of people will agree we're better than what we showed last event, but still not where we were last year for sure, and not really the dominant team we can be. Making the playoffs and qualifying here and will really show everybody that, hey, we're back and we mean business.
It would mean a lot. It'll make us forget about all the bad placings we got this year and just focus on the rest of the year. We'll focus on the playoffs and focus on champs. And it'll mean a lot for champs too. It's a great practice against all the top teams.
It would obviously mean a lot, you know, as a team because we felt like we didn't deserve that placing, but at the time we're just going through some stuff. You know, we want to prove a lot of people wrong. You know, we've been getting bashed a lot, obviously, after a terrible placing like that. You know, it's understandable. But, you know, I have a lot to prove. I'm pretty sure my team has a lot to prove. We obviously were all very disappointed with that placing. So we're just hoping to, you know, turn things around this weekend.
EnVy came in with a lot to prove, and they have done just that, Matt. Now, just to kind of talk about one possible scenario, which could be interesting, I sort of talked about in the last series. Now, Optic came into the day with a one-map advantage. Optic got their 3-0. If EnVy 3-0 here as well, and EnVy were to take the final match 3-2, they'd be tied in head-to-head, they'd be tied in overall map count, and we'd be going to a second best of 5. And this is all battling for that first place spot, so it could be interesting.
And well, what would be the scenario if they were to drop some maps here to Cloud9 or lose the series?
They can't. They have to. They have to 3-0.
They basically have to 3-0.
In order to have that circumstance of a second best of 5 is what would have to happen.
I was just wondering if you knew any other scenario.
Oh, very few. Yeah. But also, breaking news. I don't believe it's been announced yet. I'm going to do it tonight after the show. Basically, from the desk, we're going to do the reveal of the actual group draw. The bracket draw for playoffs. So you're going to see who's all matching up, and obviously we need to wait and see who gets first and second here between Optic and EnVy. But it's going to be fun.
So imagine if we went groups into more groups.
Yeah, right.
Into a smaller bracket.
But
that'd be too complicated. No, going to have the playoff bracket at the end of the show. That'll be fun. Always good to see the reveal of the bracket, the reactions of everybody on Twitter and whatnot.
Well, again, it's so important. First or second right now. You know, you don't want to match up against the likes of Luminosity, United, FaZe, the teams that are sitting in first. You know, you'd much rather see maybe an Enigma 6 or Fnatic. Not that they're poor teams by any stretch, but you've got more of the juggernauts sitting in that first place spot. Let's see if Cloud9 can maybe play spoiler a little bit against EnVy here in this matchup.
Well, I think Cloud9 will come out and they'll put their best effort forward. I don't think this is a team that'll kind of just fold here on the final day and just let EnVy kind of roll all over them. I think this will be a Cloud9 team that comes out, tries to get the best practice possible, try and ruin EnVy's hopes at getting that #1 spot.
And I mean, my eyes are on Priest, right? Priest has just been kind of mediocre, right? Not the stats we were expecting, all the hype around him, even from his peers and fellow pro players, expecting him to go off. Not really doing that so far this weekend, specifically when you're talking about the respawn game modes where he's most needed. Well, let's kick off the hard point here. Game 1, EnVy, Cloud9, starting off with Slasher, who's been a monster this weekend.
It's really impressed me with the NV4 in his hands. We knew what Slasher is capable of, but at times in the last few months looked a little bit like a toxic teammate, not really having the most confidence in his team. But like Cap said, nobody on EnVy really had a ton of confidence in each other coming in. They've fixed it. Going to a boot camp, I think, has helped this team a lot. Kind of just yell at each other, get in a room, solve all the problems. And I think you've definitely seen Slasher and especially John really, come out on the positive end of it.
Yeah, hung out with the guys for a bit last night, and I could just see, man, smiles on their faces. They were feeling really good about how this weekend has gone, and it is a good time to start feeling good with $2 million on the line the next couple of weeks. But in this game right now, EnVy controlling a minor advantage. Cloud9 looking to try and take over the lead here at the central rooftop, but the hip fire of Apathy connecting, staying alive for a moment before Aches is able to finish him off. Now we'll head over to cell block. Priesta already here. He needs to go big.
I just wonder if there was kind of otherworldly expectations of Priesta, that we thought he was going to come in here and just be scump and just tear through everybody. But to be fair, that's kind of what we heard, how he was playing online. But we do know sometimes online does not transition over here to LAN.
Frequently it does, and every now and then it really does not, as he has certainly struggled. But Cloud9 does take control of the lead for just a moment. Now it's EnVy's turn. Aches, though, coming in the backside. Got 2 kills, but Apathy finally getting the better of him.
And that's one where Cloud9 controls at the beginning, and they just get instantly broken by EnVy. Here you go. Go on the wall run, line up. Make some easy kills there for Slasher. You could even knock down those shots, I think, Clint.
Maybe on a certain day. But no, Slasher, he's been great. But when you give him easy ones like that to get into a groove, it makes me think like, you know, if you're a basketball player, you're having a poor game, you get to the free throw line, you hit a couple easy ones, you start to heat up. Don't start feeding a player like Slasher easy kills, because he will get hot.
It's just an awful angle to have to go from, like just go on the wall run and just hope to make it all the way across. But you see Cloud9, they've gotten control of Graveyard here. Starting to rack up some time. Trying to make this one interesting as Aches not connecting. Connects with a few shots, but doesn't take anybody out. I don't think his play has been that bad this weekend. We've actually seen some good games out of him.
Yeah, I think
Search has been average.
You can talk about him and Cap in the same way sometimes. Like, they're players that maybe a little past their prime. You don't expect them to drop bombs, but can't hurt your team. And yeah, they've had solid weekends overall. Unfortunately, the results have not been there for Cloud9, whereas EnVy, they certainly have. Assault, though, finding a couple of kills. He's trying to get going. 100 off the Trinity. He's trying to find a gun or ammo. He's only got 16 bullets left in the clip. And with 10 seconds left, doesn't look like any more pressure is going to be applied. Now, this is where it's tough when you're on streaks, because you're trying to rotate. You're going to be dealing with players that are all set up on cover, trying to cut off these transitions. Can he maybe bait one of his teammates and keep this streak alive?
Well, he doesn't have to bait anybody. JCap just runs right at him there. It's an easy kill for an assault. And see Cloud9, they have control of helipad. Now they just have to pinch on a commissary to get control of the hill. But Slasher and Apathy picking up kills for EnVy. They hold it down. It'll be EnVy holding down commissary.
And big plays from Slasher there. He takes out Assault, so he can't go ahead and pick up those Scorchers or Bombardment. We'll just have the Trinity Rocket to work with. EnVyUs now 91-82. Assault goes ahead. He uses that Trinity right away to try and get the break. Kills everybody off the map, and now that opens up the way for Priesta to get in. The spawn comes out on Snow Street for EnVy as they're going to try and now fight across the map. Priesta looking to get into position here to get him on the cutoffs. He's doing just that. Solid play from Priesta.
Now he's going to try to work his way back towards the hard point. He's going to find it completely empty, as it's going to be Aches picking up the last player inside of the hill. It's Priesta now working towards streaks as Cloud9 will take a lead going into the second half of the game. We go back to that first central rooftop hard point, as it's been a quite odd first half. Clint, I feel like neither team really playing that great. I feel like both teams just trying to exchange some time on the hills. Nobody really in this map we see rack together a ton of time, right? You can get cell block for a while, then you go over to Grave, you get a chunk of time, commissary. Neither team did an excellent job locking down any of the hills.
Yeah, usually when this map is back and forth, it's like 40-point swing here, 40-point swing there. This has been more like a score lines, like a throwback or something, right? Yeah. Just always kind of stayed close. Teams splitting the hard point. You got to think that's going to change at some point here. John has one in front, tags up a toe, trying to get away with his life as he drops below 50%. Couple of two streaks now for Team EnVyUs. The kills starting to rack up for them, and the score doing the same. Into cell block first is going to be Slasher. Controlling the back will be Apathy. And this is good. This should be the big chunk of time, right? They did a really good job at the central rooftop. You got patrolling mid-map is JCap, and then the rest of the team set up locking down the hard point.
You don't see a chunk of time here, you won't see it the entire game. This is a perfect setup for EnVy. All they got to do is pick up these first few kills, and they'll have a majority of cell block. Well, they all go to Cloud9.
Yeah, the three-man hit on the top side ends up working out very well for Cloud9. They've eliminated everybody but John. The rest of the EnVy troops trying to get back in. John is trying to do what we saw Karma do in the last series. Just contest, contest, contest until your team's able to get back into the fight. Now he gets the call. This looks so much like the Karma play we saw earlier.
Yeah, Karma in that last series did a phenomenal job staying alive for a while. John doing the same thing here. It's Exotic and Priesta, though, taking out the rest of EnVy, but only 15 seconds to grab here. Cloud9 is already over at Graveyard, so they've already thought about rotating over towards the next hill. They have both of their assault rifle players over here with Aches and Assault. Now you're going to put Priesta with an NV4 in his hands, looking over into Cave. Now Cloud9 trying to answer back with some time of their own.
They're doing a good job so far, just pushing them back in Cave. There's still one player you can see on X-Ray that's waiting for the rest of EnVy to spawn up. Priesta wants to invest the Scarab here. Sends it through Cave, backs up Slasher. Assault finishes the kill.
No more pressure coming in from EnVy. It's an easy hold here for Cloud9. Still 35 seconds left on the hill. See the spawns coming in from EnVy all the way in that back by the helipad. They have maybe, one one really good crack at this, as they're going to use a Scarab to try and open it up. But Priesta with another kill. He has earned Trinity's working on the bombardment, but Cloud9 has come back. 15 seconds left on this hill. They know they flipped the spawns. They pushed all the way through. That'll be Exotic over by the helipad side. So now they're going to leave Priesta alone in here. They're going to rotate to Commissary, and Priesta picks up the kill and earns the bombardment.
And that's the Priesta you wanted to see. He was a man on a mission, just completely dominating EnVyUs. And this was, I mean, it was literally perfect. They control, what, the first 45 seconds there of Grave. They push through and flip the spawns so they can set up here for back helipad into Commissary. Flawless stuff from Cloud9. That's the reason they're now enjoying a 10-point lead. But multiple players from EnVy have now hit helipad. They're going to start to collapse. The rest of Cloud9 hitting the wall run, trying to get back into the fight. Which side will the trades go to? Well, the trades are going to be Priesta's streak that comes in. Trinity Rocket gets a teammate, but also weakens one and finds a kill.
Yeah, but Aches needs more help here from his Cloud9 teammates and fast, because EnVy still spawning in the back. I believe FTL jump used there to get onto the hill. And it'll be a break from EnVy. So John takes out 2, Cap with 1, Apathy with another. And yet again, another break. Both of these teams cannot hold a hill. Really at all. Outside the Cloud9 hill hold on Grave, that's really about it.
Yeah, that was the big one. And that's what gave them the lead. Slasher takes out Exotic before falling. Kills going back and forth, and now it's John's turn to maybe pick up some streaks. A couple of kills, well, 1 kill now. Away from the Trinity Rocket. He's going to hop out and challenge Spiral. Not able to win it, though. Only gets a few bullets into Aches. Before he loses it, will we have another lead change coming shortly? It doesn't look that way, as Cloud9 has mid-map controlled entirely. There's a split spawn now from Team EnVyUs, as some spawn to helipad, some still controlling the side-by-cell block. This is their time to collapse, but they got to make sure they still control the right side of the minimap.
See Priesta just roaming around mid-map, trying to find some kills here. Is able to locate one, but you see John and EnVy, they have spawned over on the cell block side. They have 15 seconds left on this hill as well. If I'm EnVy, I probably try and hold this for another 5 or so seconds. You see Apathy drop down. He's going to play a little bit more for some kills. You really just need to put emphasis on cell block. If you give up the last few seconds here, not the worst.
Oh, they just got to pick. They're going to go. 2 down for EnVy. They've got to fly in. John doing what he can to hold on. 1 kill before dropping. They just overwhelm like a swarm. Last time it was a 3-hit up top through Hangar that took out EnVy. This time EnVy never really gets to enjoy a full setup because they take him out in that top window and just fly on in 1 by 1. EnVy dropped and Cloud9 takes it over.
Cloud9 can end the game on this hill. So you see Apathy and Slasher pick up a kill apiece. It's 1 player left for Cloud9 in the hill, and that is Priesta. I believe he uses his reactive armor there, so he doesn't have any payload ability. Now it'll be Assault working around the outside, trying to get 1 kill here, trying to break this open for C9. He's able to get 2, and now he's got camo. Don't need camo just yet. You have 1 more player on the wall run. Perfect kill there from Assault. But we will see another hill coming up in the rotation, as you see now players heading over towards Grave.
And the big thing here, if Cloud9 takes a map off EnVy, EnVy can't push that second match versus Optic if they were to win 3-2. They need to win 3-1, 3-0 in order to take over the first place spot. And Cloud9 looking to do just that, just 6 points away. They're pushing in towards Grave. They dominated it last time, and they're doing it here. There's 2 players left to push in from EnVy. Slasher doing what he can, finds 2. 1 more is here. It's John still holding strong. They haven't been able to close them out yet. Can we see a heroic stand from EnVy?
We've seen it before on this hill. The Scarab comes in from John. He's able to get 1 with it. Just needs to sit down behind the dozer. See Slasher uses the camo to push up. Nice spot here that Slasher's able to get to. 25 seconds left on this hill. Cloud9 needs 1 break. They need 1 point.
Oh, they need to at least contest a little bit. Surprise, Exotic. Slasher's in behind. EnVy looks to be doing it. Cloud9 just needs 1 point. Can they get in? John in the close pocket, peeking into medical bay. There's a weak player, and he's finished that. Second dives on him. He's gone as well. The perfect hold is there. EnVy has done it. 250 to 249. The dream weekend for the boys in blue continues.
Yeah, and Aches in that last push was trying to go on a flank. He was trying to go through cave, and if he picks up that kill, maybe they spawn them out. They're able to get inside the hard point. He gets taken out. The rest of the work, though, done by Slasher and John on the front side of the hill. EnVy takes game one, 250-249. Is EnVy still undefeated in Hardpoint? I believe so.
Yes, and what a way to do it, man. A perfect hold there, and a Hardpoint that you got destroyed the last time through. I mean, that's where Cloud9 really got back into the game and took over the lead. This time, EnVy says, no. They shut the door. That was awesome, man. They've been so good in Hardpoint. But Cloud9, that's the story of Cloud9's weekend. Well, we play it tough. We just don't win a whole lot.
It's been close, but not good enough for C9.
You know what that reminded me of a little bit was, I mean, different circumstances. Obviously, with Stage 1, that FaZe Rise game that went down to the wire, the 250-249 game, and it had to be a perfect hold. Obviously, a lot more pressure on the line with that match, but still, it all came down to the graveyard. Here, same thing.
C9, they just have to be frustrated with their weekend. It's just been very small mistakes that have separated them from winning games and losing these matches.
It's been tough to watch because I think we can all agree. I mean, for Epsilon, it's been a tough weekend. Do I think that Epsilon is still going to be a force to deal with at Champs? I certainly do, but it has not been a great weekend for them. And for Cloud9, I think if I'm a Cloud9 fan, I'm still excited about this team. I mean, I know it hasn't been a great weekend, but they proved they can play the likes of Optic tough. That means a lot going into Champs, at least.
They can play people tough. I mean, they still lose the game.
Well,
doesn't matter.
This group they're in right now is approximately 500 times harder than the group they're going to have at Champs.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they're going to get, like, you know, LCQ teams, some other teams in there. Probably get some wins. It feels like mouthing me like other teams that Cloud9 can beat from the desk. I think he said one.
No, I think we can all agree though. I think they definitely have, you know, a top 8 type of run in them at Champs, absolutely. And if they catch fire, you know, if Priesta, we saw that moment he goes in the 7th streak. He was dominating with the MV4. He was dominating with the ERAT as well. I don't know. I still think there's a lot of hype around the young player. Just not a great weekend.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hype, a lot of pressure this weekend. What about the pressure at Champs?
Well, that's
right. I mean, you talk about the pressure this weekend. Obviously, very tough group. Obviously, a lot of the line trying to get into the Stage 2 playoff, but he's not able. Well, you don't really know if it's pressure, right? I mean, you go up against some very good SMG players, but still, you know, the pressure at Champs is going to be unreal. The teams you're going to be going up against, providing you make it out of groups, are going to be very tough. So,
well, that'd be one reason maybe you'd be nervous for Cloud9, just because, you know, if you look at a team like Optic, team like EnVy, you know, in this group, they have so much experience at Champs, even Epsilon with Josh getting second last year. But Cloud9, yeah, it's a story of young up-and-comers, and they've got the talent, but we'll see what they can do when all that money's on the line.
It's like last year with Lacefield. Like, Lacefield was, you know, pretty experienced. He played in both stages, right? You know, all the open events. He played with H2K. They're a very good team throughout the year. But there wasn't, like, the expectations of Lacefield that he was going to come in and dominate, kind of like how we have for Priesta. So I think it's a little bit of a different expectation level that we have of Priesta coming into this weekend and coming into Champs.
I can't wait, man. We have, what, a few days off, and we're right back to Columbus for playoffs. What, half a week? Right into Orlando for Champs. It is going to be so fun. But now, round 1, game 2, EnVy with a crazy finish to the hard point, looking to close the door on Cloud9. Apathy, his teammates looking over. 3-2 advantage right now for EnVy. Assault and Priesta have to come from behind.
Assault lands some shots, not able to pick up a kill, gives away his location. Now Priesta is going to know the bomb's going to go down. He's going to see 2 players going into market. He's able to get 1. He's going to be very aggressive here. Knows that the other 2 remaining players are both here inside of market. And EnVy allows him to just walk right up the stairs, able to take him out, but
got scary for a second.
It did.
And remember, this is, if you haven't watched all weekend, EnVy was dreadful in search to kick off the weekend. They drastically improved yesterday.
So Apathy picks up the 2 kills to end that round in favor of EnVy. So we see Priesta from his POV. He's walking up the stairs. He's able to get 1. Apathy just goes high on the wall. Able to take out both players there from Cloud9. End round 1 in EnVy's favor. Cloud9 cannot catch a break, man.
Well, all their pressure going towards lower street. Assault with a nice nade right onto Apathy. First blood to Cloud9. They're taking control of scaffolding and lower street as they're looking to get set up at the B bomb site. A flank is coming through for JCap. Will the timing work in his favor? Well, it didn't work there. He might have saw one cross to the right, but doesn't get eyes on with it. We swapped off Cap, but he lost the gunfight, as did Slasher. John now, 1 versus 3. Sees one in the back. Assault wants none of it.
It's a good round there from C9. That first round, though, could end up coming back to haunt them. I believe 2v3 scenario, they turn into a 1v2. They get burned by Apathy. So they take round number 2 with relative ease on the offensive end. They'll go back on the defensive side here, see if they can fix some of their mistakes.
Let's go over to Apathy. Now to JCap. He'll be your bomb carrier. Look at the split right now for Envy. It's all pressure towards Bridge with the lone man Slasher kind of watching the flank as he's looking over Lower Street. They've got control of the far side of the bridge and look to be setting up to get a plant and maybe push through depending on what Apathy's able to do. Apathy has spotted 3 players. Assault inside for Cloud9 was tagged up by a nade but gotten away. He just saw a one-shot player. Is he able to locate the kill? He does. John now down. Kills going back and forth, but not to Envy's favor as all 4 down, and that's back-to-back rounds for Cloud9.
Starting to see Search and Destroy Envy from day one come out. Now that one round that they get on the board here early, it's because Apathy picks up an amazing 2-piece there to end it. But these other 2 rounds have looked really good for C9.
See if C9 can keep it going. Captain Price and his group of youngins as they're looking for a late run here, leading into champs. On with Priesta, who's 5-1. He just had a fantastic performance in the game 1 hardpoint. Unfortunately, it did not result in a W. Apathy with the first blood. Priesta getting across hallway. I'm not sure if he was spotted by whoever's sitting out on plat right now for Team EnVyUs. You can see on X-ray, he's right outside, right opposite of Aches. Priesta looking for bedroom control. Nobody's home. This will give him an angle and eyes on with the player plat. John now eliminated, 3v3.
It's another kill there for Assault. Aches with one in the hotel hallway. It'll leave Slasher the only one up. It's a good push from C9. It's now Slasher left here in the 1v2 trying to figure it out.
It's going to be a 1v1 versus Aches, and Slasher's winning it.
It's possible.
I just got a feeling. Slasher.
I think unlikely, but possible.
Kills are crucial here, obviously, as he is the camo player. Now he spots them as they fly out, a bullet in one, but has to back down. He sees the foot, just pacing it. There it goes. It's actually Aches eliminated, so it's a 1v1 versus Priesta.
And he knows he gets the bomb planter down.
He's trying to plant it. Will Slasher get there in time for the angle? He's trying to make the play. He caught him. He saw the slide across the bike. He's chasing the kill. Bye-bye. Slasher clutches up in the 1v2, makes it look easy. I had a feeling.
You can't lose rounds like that, though. I mean, you have it's a 1v2. You know exactly where he is. Aches sits on bomb. Now, maybe like Priesta just needs to like shoot at Slasher so you can like back him down, let him plant the bomb safely. But
and I know how easy that kill looks, and it is in a lot of ways, but we've seen players kind of panic in that situation, not pace their shots, and get a little bit wild, not kill that player when you see just the foot like that. So there's some good trigger discipline from Slasher there to turn it into a 1v1. Then he gets some nice timing there on the bomb planter and Priesta as he chases him to the bike for the final kill. It all results in a 2-2 tie game here. If you're just joining us, I recommend watching the VOD of Game 1. It was a 250-249 victory for Team EnVyUs, one in which they mounted an incredible comeback on the final hardpoint.
So it'll be Envy pushing straight down bridge here. One player for Cloud9. It'll be Assault. Don't know if he's... I believe he has actually spotted them because you can see everybody for C9 rotate over. And Envy, they have no idea. All the players from C9 are here. It's going to be a first kill for Priesta. Exotic grabs John. Oh, nice rotation here from C9 as JCap gets executed there in the back. Be Exotic with 3 kills.
The salute. Exotic goes big, and not only did he get 3 kills and win the round for his team, he also killed Slasher, who was 25 off a Trinity rocket. A great tool here, especially in Retaliation. Not going to have that now for Envy, and you take advantage of this game too, again, for Cloud9. JCap and the guys talking it over right now, figuring out what went wrong. You know, they thought that would plant for the back, push through. Unfortunately, they pushed through into a Cloud9 roster.
I feel like this is a search and destroy that Cloud9 has played pretty well. I feel like the rounds that Envy has won, they've just kind of clutched up at the end, right? I mean, the 2 rounds they got on the board, it's the 1v2 from Apathy and the 1v2 from Slasher. Could easily be something like a, you know, you still give Envy, let's say, one of those rounds, right? I mean, could be like something like a 4-1. Cloud9 just played a little bit better, but Envy still hanging around in this game. Slasher sees one cross.
I can't deal with Cloud9 losing any more close matches.
What would it do to you physically?
I just don't like it.
Would you just be upset?
I would be upset, yes.
Oh.
Just you see the potential is there.
I don't want Cloud9 to lose, but I wouldn't mind you being upset.
Feel like when I'm upset. That's very hurtful.
Nah, I don't. But just today.
Apathy is trying to make a play down through the stairwell. He's been tagged up by multiple players, and again, it's Exotic going big.
Go.
3 in the last round, 2 here. Exotic.
That's the best way to retake that, to go down the staircase, like right lined up with each other, I feel like.
Yeah, like look how easy this looks from JCap's POV.
Well, that is Priest's POV.
Pre-Priest's POV, sorry.
Killing JCap.
Killing Cap, yes. Well, it did look very hard from JCap's POV.
Yeah. It's like there was a guy glitching this car. And I'm just going to body stack with a teammate. Running a straight line.
Well, Priest, again, taking some flack for the past 2 days, but he was great in game 1. Fantastic here in game 2 as he's at 9-3. He has reactive armor to work with. He just spotted 2, I think, on scaffolding, if he realizes those are 2 different players. Back and forth we go, though. 3v3 quickly until John finds another. Priesta and Assault, the 2 remaining. Priesta, nice kill over the top. He's going to get pushed, though. He did have reactive armor. Doesn't have a chance to pop it as Slasher picks him up. Slasher gets away with his life as well, so it's Assault's turn to try and clutch up at a 1v2. Slasher of Envy has already done it once. Oh, this is going to be tough because he has camo, doesn't need it. Assault burn top bridge around to EnVyUs.
Envy still hanging around in this game, man. Cloud9, they're setting this up to be a...
What, like game 1?
Devastating loss, just like game number 1. So, now Slasher, I believe he has camo. You do have the reactive armor on Priesta. I'm surprised he didn't pop the reactive when he was being challenged up on plat.
He might not have. I think he was a little bit weak, too. He might not have had a chance. He might have just got melted real quickly.
Yeah, but you got to kind of expect a second player to come up challenge. I think in the spots they were playing, like usually you see a guy kind of crouch playing right underneath that position. You're able to get another one, but the round starts. It's a kill for either side. It'll be Assault falling for Cloud9. So JCap and now John are both dead for Envy. So Envy's got an aggressive, did not work out. So now they find themselves man down.
Priest all the way up to 11 kills now. Slasher, 1 clutch to his name.
Do you use the camo here if you're Envy?
Maybe if you find a kill, if this turns into a 2v2. I don't know if I'd use it pre-pop in this event. Oh, God, the backplate keeps him alive. You have the camo, not going to matter. He is gone. 5th round to Cloud9, 1 away from tying up the series at 1-1.
If they would have killed the player on bomb, maybe you would have seen Slasher go towards that back cathedral with the camo. You're able to get behind, 1 or 2 players. You're able to win it, but it's kind of, oh, listen to this stat. This is really going to hurt you. This has nothing to do with this Search and Destroy game, but it's totally relevant to the series. The average Cloud9 hardpoint score is 235. The average Cloud9 opponent scores 232. So they're average a win in hardpoint, but they're 2-5 in the game mode.
It's just that, yeah, it's a story of how many close games there have been for this team. Can't stress it enough. They look good at times, but they've also, thrown away some big leads. Slasher and Apathy have now pushed through. They tried to do this in a previous round, and Cloud9 was ready for it. That's not the case this time, but they pushed through the opposite. Reactive use. Priest with 2 more kills. He's at 13-4. Camo from Slasher.
Just to run away.
In a 1v4.
They know where he is.
But he has to try and use it as this is the final round to Cloud9. Not going to do it. Cloud9 gets the victory behind one hell of a game from, well, several players from Cloud9, but Priest has been a monster this series.
You see Cloud9 after the win, they don't look happy at all. Neither does Envy, as now it makes Envy's road to #1 very difficult. But Cloud9, this is a team that could easily be up 2-0 in this series, man.
So Cloud9 getting that map victory, basically it means they have to, Envy have to win this series, obviously, but then they would need to beat Optic 3-0 or 3-1 if for the final series of the night, if it comes down to trying to decide who is going to be first and second.
They're pretty fortunate they clutched up in that map #1.
Yeah,
you really think about it.
Very easily could be a 2-0 series advantage, like you said. Cloud9. I mean, can they win the series? I mean, time will tell, but they do have to go up against another hard point, which Envy's been so good, I don't know that that's shaky in the game 4. But before that, it'll be game 3 Uplink with the series all tied up. Guys, we'll see you in a couple minutes. Cloud9 versus EnVy. Cloud9 able to take the search and destroy and now tied up at 1-1. The Uplink, I believe we're headed Frost again. And Frost, I mean, this is where, what was it, day one that EnVy had? I think I saw a rated tweet about it. Like EnVy had this like perfect, like the opening 2-3 minutes. Jack and I were casting. I think they scored 8 to 10 points, just very quick. It was incredible to witness. See if they can muster a little bit of that here.
In C9, this is one where obviously Prisa very good with the E-Rad in his hands. I think you're going to have to see Exotic with an E-Rad K-bar in his hands. I think the real question is what does Aches do? Does he run the submachine gun? Does he try and run another AR? Just kind of depends on what he runs with, how this team will play. To just see what their playstyle will be like on this map.
And on the other side, I think the player that impressed me the most on this map actually was JCap with an E-Rad. Was really crushing, and the first time I saw him play it from day one, I mean, everybody was really going off, but JCap in particular stuck out to me. He's having a phenomenal game. Now they just need to worry about winning this series so they at least have an opportunity to fight for the first place spot. If they lose to Cloud9, it doesn't really become a conversation anymore.
Yeah, then it just kind of becomes a EnVy versus Optic show match.
Yeah, that's right. They're scrimming for champs. They're for stage 2 playoffs.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Cloud9 can spoil EnVy's chances.
I still can't get over this. Like, coming to this weekend, it's just so weird how things have changed. Like, I literally, I think I said to Cap, I was like, Cap, just please, man, can you guys come out and play like you're capable of so we could have an interesting weekend? And then by them playing like they are capable of, it actually just decided the weekend on day 2, basically.
Well, I was excited for this weekend. And then I'm usually the one who's a little bit kind of looks on the other side of things. I'm like, well, there's a chance like EnVy comes in and like they get smoked and Cloud9 comes in and they don't look as good as we imagine, and Epsilon and Optic have this thing kind of wrapped up.
That's how I
had the right kind of idea, just not the right teams that I thought would it happen to. But I think Epsilon just a big shock this weekend. They came in, none of them really outside of Dave shot well at all, didn't play good. But I think that's a team that, if Josh starts to pick up some kills, they can definitely start to turn it around. And I think Cloud9, they've been competitive, but it's just been little minor mistakes that have set them back from some other teams. I think EnVy, though, they've really impressed. I think we knew what Optic was capable of, right? I mean, I don't think anyone really kind of doubted them coming into this group. Like, they would have been the one lock you would have taken to make playoffs. I think EnVy has really been the one that is impressed.
It's the right time to do it. Nice, like having EnVy just in the conversation for champs. Like, it felt like for a little while, it didn't even seem like they had a run in them. And now all of a sudden, your 2016 CWL champions, they might have enough left in the tank to give us another miraculous run in just a couple of weeks.
This is when you want to start playing your best. We saw last year towards the end of Black Ops 3, obviously. I know this EnVy roster, they go through some changes. I know they ate some teep on it at the beginning of the year, right? They bring in John from Luminosity, Apathy. They kind of get blessed with after Merc and Team Liquid don't qualify. So Joe has his sad face. He looks like
that crazy 4-game reverse sweep.
Joe's like, don't remind me again. Think about how different that would be. We wouldn't have Joe on the desk. He'd probably be in this series playing on Cloud9.
Possible. I'm glad he's not.
I don't know why he would be on Cloud.
I like working with Joe.
Yeah, I like working with Joe too. But I know if they don't qualify, Apathy probably obviously doesn't end up going to EnVy. That team doesn't form the way they are, and I think Apathy and John were just two really big players towards the end of last year. They came on towards the end. Can they do it again this year?
I'm looking for a big run from EnVy. They've been great this weekend. We'll see if they can keep it going. But the game right now, we're 90 seconds into it. Yet to see a score. Priest paroling mid-map with the E-Rad.
Yet to see a score. We've seen the drone touched once.
Yeah. There's been little to no activity outside, just kind of kills going back and forth. But this might be a chance. But with 2 down, I mean, Priest is the lone man. It's just being annoying right now, just trying to buy his teammates time. But as the drone is headed towards Cliff, EnVy set it up there in the pocket, is waiting to push into research, so their teammates can find some kills on Dozer. They get a couple, but they're traded back immediately by Cloud9. So JCap's just been sitting down here with the drone, kind of trusting in his teammates to make a play. They weren't able to do it. Drone sits and eventually is reset. Now it's Aches and company's turn. Headshot onto Apathy. Exotic in the kill feed as well. But just like that's how it's gone. It's like 2 kills for Cloud9. 2 kills for EnVy. 2 kills for Cloud9, 2 kills for EnVy. You haven't seen any 3 or 4 downs, really, and that's a big part of why we haven't seen any points on the board.
Nope. And Aches picks up 2 kills there, and now you see EnVy. They're starting to get some control. 3 kills inside of sub bay. They have the drone pushed forward. Apathy runs directly by it. So he'll leave it for a teammate all the way in the back, but Exotic, 2 kills. Here comes an interesting route, though. It'll be Slasher bringing it up the middle. That'll be a 1-point play. As the drone is down on that far right, left side. If you're looking at where EnVy is right here, and then they bring it back towards the middle. They're able to get a 1.
Slasher and company trying to keep the momentum forward. John going out. He has grabbed the drone, bringing it back towards mid. Can they get the wrap? Everyone gets juked out towards Cliff. You saw 3 red arrows like flying out of research to try and hit the top of the map. They realize they've got to wrap back. They've gotten there in time, and they've held for now. John, though, I thought he was going to get the flank on 1 or 2, but Priest, a good job checking his left, and he gets the kill. As he hits out towards sub bay, though. EnVy will get the better of him. JCap just soared off the map.
Man, this has just been a really weird uplink game.
No one can no one get a foothold at all.
It's like nobody really trying to get a setup. Nobody really trying to accomplish anything with the objective. We just seen the objective picked up, thrown for yards, and then the other team picks up 2-3 kills like we're seeing now, and then just goes the other way, does the same exact thing.
I haven't tallied up the total kills, but I gotta imagine they're very similar. They're probably within 5. I mean, they have to be. It's just been so back and forth. 360 Priest off the wall as he takes out JCap. He's twirling, twisting, and finding a kill before finally being taken out. 40 seconds now remaining. John and Slasher in the kill feed. Can they find an opening for EnVy to put more points on the board?
I can't remember the last time we saw a 1-0 uplink game.
This has been unreal.
The half.
And it's the only times we've seen 3 down is from the defensive side.
It's been team deathmatch with a drone in the middle of the map.
It seems that way. Priest does have it. Aches trying to be the meat shield. Priest trying to get out. Does get the beat down. Gets the toss. It is short. Cloud9 will still be looking at a 1-point deficit. Yeah, this has to be on a short list of games that's ever had a 1-point half on Frost.
Especially on this map.
Yeah.
This map, usually we see teams start to heat up with the ERADs, and they push forward, and they're able to get a setup. That is a 1-0 game.
That was
going in the second half.
That was a grind. You were working hard for your point there.
Brian Saint's working hard in the bag. Everybody switches to is just dead. I'll go here. It's an ERAD, 3 bullets, dead. All right, let's go to Aches. Oh, he's already dead.
Yeah, it's like you were watching Advanced Warfare Hardpoint for a second, right? Just fast. So many, 100 engagements. Just
I used to get done casting those games, and you need an oxygen tank. Because you just didn't. You're getting lightheaded. You didn't even know where you were anymore.
Well, let's see if anybody can get something going.
Are we in Dallas or Columbus?
Well, JCap did get 2 kills to open it up, so I'll give a little bit of map positioning, at least to EnVy early in this. Slasher goes high off the wall run. Assault is down. 2nd down. 3 down now for Cloud9. Wanted to shoot his teammate a little bit, maybe tell him to get the drone forward. Drone now coming in. Doesn't get a throwaway. Defense holds for Cloud9, and it is still 1-0. I feel like is this a CTF?
Have you seen CTFs that are higher scoring?
Cloud9.
What was that CTF we cast last year? It was it FaZe EnVy when Attach used overdrive and he got 9 caps. He just kept running down on Fringe by the barn.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I think it was from stage 1. Look at that T.
My memory doesn't go that far back.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I remember. See, that's the thing. I care, Clint. You cast these games and then you just get deleted from your memory. I remember.
Not enough space in his big old head.
well, if there's no memory of the games, which you do every weekend, what is in your head?
Not a whole lot, Matt.
Yep.
It's a dark place.
It's
all right, here we go.
The gameplay we haven't really seen.
Hold up. This is a chance, Matt. This is a chance for points. Slasher gets an opening 1. Apathy should be going high for the shot, but no. He tries to slide, doesn't get in. Assault holds on. JCap, it's your turn. Doesn't get the toss off. No one wants to score.
See, you interrupted me. I had no confidence that was going to be points. I kind of knew. I mean, with the way this game's been going, Apathy has a chance, slides into a doorway. Cat picks it up, not able to get the 1-point throw off. So now the drone has been thrown into the EnVy half of sub bay, but here come the kills for EnVy as now Cloud9's push is stopped.
I feel like we're watching like a game of tug of war.
I feel like I'm being tricked. All right.
Oh, come on!
Come on, man.
I thought for sure there would be a shot there. I mean, it's actually impressive. Like, I know we had a low-scoring game the other day with Optic EnVy, but it was real sloppy, right? There were a lot of one-point misses, like some blocks by the goal, but there haven't even been any throws.
Yeah, this really hasn't been sloppy. It's just been nobody, after they pick up the drone, is able to get any kills. Like, it's like...
So, it's like somebody strapped duct tape on this.
It's like when you grab the drone.
Here we go.
Yeah, this has to be points.
JCap, please.
There you go.
3-0 advantage now for EnVy. 2:20 to play. Slosher has camo as well, and he's cutting down Cloud9 players coming off a spawn. The tempo has picked up tenfold.
So now EnVy has thrown the drone forward yet again. They're going to try and go for the top side control one more time. Assault now with camo, so we expect camo to turn into points, but with the way this game's been going, who the hell knows? Now we'll see. Oh, drone gets reset. As soon as he goes to pick it up, he'll have to wander back towards the middle of the map. He gets taken out, and you know, this has the feelings of a game where Assault will have camo and just won't be able to get the drone in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that a few games, but kind of has the vibes that every time we'll go on board with him, he won't be able to get near the drone to get it.
Well, Exotic right now on a 4 streak. Doing a good job kind of controlling that mid-alley and the cliff side of the map. He's now gotten into research. He's tagged up. Does have FTL if he needs to play his life for streaks, but will end up falling. Now under 90 to go. Drone still at spawn until Apathy snags it away. Let's see where they try to make a play. Looks like they push towards cliff, fake it back now the other side into sub bay. Assault has to react and try to get in position. Unfortunately for him, there's already an EnVy player here. That's that slide and kill we talk about. It is impossible to deal with. It's about to be 4 down for Cloud9, but somehow Priest is still up. Priesta gets 2. Now his teammates off a spawn. A magnificent play from Priesta to make sure no more points in for EnVy. Remember, Assault does have camo to work with. He's got drone in hand. Can he actually get to a position to use it? He's got Exotic finding kills for him, trying to get back on the map.
Oh my.
That is a good way to not give yourself a chance to use camo.
Guys, I got camo. Watch this. All right, so they get it to him again. Here we go. No.
What are you doing?
All right, whoever's the host is ending the game.
Is Assault screwing with us?
What is going on? All right, now we got overdrive. Oh, okay. This has just been... It's been a...
I've enjoyed casting this game.
So when I said there was not really a lot of poor plays, I take that back. This game has been rather sloppy from both sides, as JCap has somehow ended up with the drone in the middle of the map. Assault, just as I predicted, it never uses the camo. He gets the drone twice, just jumps off into the hole.
We made a mishap.
But it'll be... EnVy's probably confused. They're like, the hell was that? As they take Uplink Frost in a thrilling 3-0 scoreline.
I don't know.
Cloud9 just looks like, what was that?
It's like you set Assault up for the field goal and he kicks it into the stands. Like he just didn't give himself a chance there. All right, well, it's some interesting plays coming out of Cloud9. They end up losing a close one, though, another close game for Cloud9. But EnVy now back in control of the series. They've taken both respawns by very narrow margins. Do they close out, you think, at the hard point? They've been perfect thus far.
You got to believe they do. You know, with Cloud9, though, they have played good in hardpoint. Like I was saying before, their average score line, they're actually winning these hardpoint games. You know, it's like 235, 232 in terms of average score of a Cloud9 hardpoint game. They've only got 2 wins to show for it. But you got to believe EnVy, they're perfect in hardpoint throughout the weekend. They close it out here in game number 4.
Map's going to be Throwback. Does that change anything for you, maybe?
No, not really. Although you did see Apathy, you know, get off to a slow start in that one. Fast-paced map, maybe kind of carries over into Throwback, but more than likely, as you see the record indicates there, I would say EnVy will win this map.
7-0, incredibly impressive. I'm just trying to remember who's been undefeated in game modes through an entire weekend. Was Enigma 6 in Uplink? They were darn close. I think they lost 1, maybe. I'm trying to remember back to when teams almost went undefeated in the game mode. It doesn't happen very rarely. I mean, you're playing double round robin, a lot of matches. It'd be pretty, I think it'd be very impressive. Obviously, they still play Optic later today. I don't know that I believe they're going to take 2 hard points off Optic again, but
they did it once.
They've been vulnerable there.
And they took 2 hard points off of Optic the other night to force the game 5.
I mean, it's possible.
Definitely is possible.
Doing it twice would be certainly incredible. You get a game 4 here. So they could be, if that series goes the distance with Optic later, and you could be looking at 10-0 in hardpoint in a week. That's pretty sick stuff.
Yeah, from a team that was abysmal in Anaheim, now
like 1-7 or something like that. And
yeah.
To be fair, all their game modes were.
Oh no, they were just trash across the board at Anaheim. But you see just the difference. I mean, this team, they had the talent. Like, you knew Anaheim, like, they just were not on the same page, did not enjoy playing with each other that much. They've kind of found that fire again. And you see, it's just like how Epsilon, they've come in here and had a bad weekend. They just had not shot straight. They come in here, obviously not in here. They come back for champs. They could easily turn it around.
Any team this weekend, you could see in top 8, if not better, at champs. No question. I just can't wait, man. I just want to teleport into the future a little bit. Be ready in Orlando for champs. Well, let's take a look at the hardpoint leaderboard. You see Slasher, man, all the way at the top. And we've been talking about how good Scump's been this weekend in pretty much every single mode. Slasher even outdoes him here with a 1.31. Apathy right there in the top 3 as well. John not far behind. JCap's on page 2.
Exotic actually in the top 4 is the most surprising for me. JCap on page 2, that's pretty funny. So we just mouse down and just tab over. Let's see who else is down there.
Is there a scroll option here?
Well, the one player from Cloud9 not on there is actually Priesta. He's the one player you probably expected to be near the top. That's actually Exotic, Assault, and Aches on there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this series, though, for the most part, you've seen the potential of Priesta. See if he can continue it here.
And it may just be a rough weekend. I mean, we saw some of the numbers from Anaheim. He was great there. And we've all seen the guy, stream, play online, just fantastic player. Just maybe just an off weekend.
Yeah, he came outside and he was talking to Jack and I, and he's like, well, I guess I'm trash. He was just kind of, you just have to laugh it off at that point, when you have a weekend go the way it has, like Cloud9.
You're always like finding players outside or hanging out with players. Are you like,
I like
taking them captive after we leave?
I pride myself, man.
Because why would they hang out with you?
I love
asking.
I love spending time with the players, hanging out with the players. Just it helps for stories while casting. It helps to kind of understand their head if something went wrong in a match. I talked to Optic and EnVy last night for probably like 8 hours.
Who's the guy from TMZ? You're basically like the TMZ guy.
Matt, I don't watch TMZ because I'm a male adult.
I mean, I knew what TMZ was. I didn't know the name of the guy either.
Yeah, it's in your diary. Oh, here we go. Game 4 hardpoint. EnVy versus Cloud9.
You found my diary?
Yes, I did.
God damn it.
Under your pillow.
Yep.
Oh, we'll see if Slasher can continue the incredible results he's had in hardpoint.
It's creepy that you said under my pillow, because why are you now in my bedroom under my pillows?
Oh, no. I'm the tooth fairy.
Oh, that explains a lot.
All right. 13-0. Early for Cloud9. I hear the guys getting loud. Call-out's getting heated as they want to push this to a game 5. Exotic holding the mid-bridge. Not going to be able to do that against Slasher in the NV4. Slasher, this is definitely somewhere he can dominate, especially on that bike path side of the map when he gets rolling. Several kills go the way of Cloud9, one being a team kill. A couple seconds left. We're now going to swap over to Barn. If you take a look at the minimap, it is all red arrows there. They've got the lime spawn. They are set up here to really control Barn. Look at this flank. Go to number 4 on Assault if we can. Assault's coming in from underneath. I was about to say, I thought he was actually going to catch. If they pushed in, he would have had real easy pickings there as he wrapped back through underpass. Instead, they turn, they catch him, and they kill everybody else on Cloud9, and EnVy breaks easily.
That's tough. C9, they rotate early. They have a good first hill, up 13-0. You think they have control of Bar. They got 2 NV4 players back there. This is where they can lock it down, build a big lead. EnVy just runs right through everybody. And Assault coming on that flank, has the NV4 underpass. It's a tough spot to have that weapon in. Like if he maybe had a K-Bar or an E-Rad, maybe you pick up 1-2 kills, but at the NV4, you're just, at that short to medium range. You just put a few bullets in somebody, they turn with the K-Bar, they melt you down.
And props to EnVy for being ready for the wrap. All right, a couple ticks left in Barn. Now we'll head out to bike path. And I was talking to EnVy about this particular hard point and some of the ones on Scorch. and how they've been really working together to make sure, I mean, Apathy sometimes, he loves to roam, he loves to get aggressive, right? But this is a hard point in particular where if you roam too much, you end up giving a team split spawns. You know, you want to just lock down one side, try and hold it with consistency. They've been trying to really work on that this weekend, and obviously they've improved in hardpoint.
So like we just saw where the rest of his team dies and he's all the way by Lemon, and then now they hold on to the spawn, so they're able to pick up a first wave of kills, but for a while, it looked like Cloud9 had full control over that baseball side of the map.
But look at Apathy right now, just pushed across. Let's see where if he spawns somebody out behind them. No, okay, so they still maintain it. He hasn't pushed up far enough, but that's almost a near example of a time where he gets a little aggressive mid-map, and sometimes all of a sudden you see those red arrows popping up towards baseball, and it's like, okay, well.
As long as C9 is not pushing through, and he is like outside of their sidewalk area, he's fine.
But they're able to control the side of the map. Unfortunately, they don't really get any time into hardpoint, but they'll be set up for your money hill now in baseball. JCap be the first one in. John finds a pair of kills on the perimeter as well. JCap trying to get cheeky here in blue as he's going to wrap in behind. Nice route there to catch Priesta. Back in the hardpoint. He has a Scarab to work with. A grenade just caught Exotic in the teeth. As he wraps, though, you see 3 players from Cloud9 ready for him. Slasher not up to the task of dealing with them all swarming either. Apathy, though, back off spawn, helping a weak John. John kills 2, tags up 1, plays bait for Apathy. Hell of a job by John in that one.
It's a fantastic hold for EnVy. And Apathy and JCap went huge there. You know, Slasher and John both die at the beginning of this, and they're able to pick up some kills, hold it down. JCap just staying alive in the back for just long enough for the teammates to come off support. But going into the second rotation of hills, you'll have Cloud9 in the lead as they break the last few seconds here of baseball. So now, though, EnVy, they do have control of the barn spawns. Whew. See Priesta, though, starting to heat up with the E-Rat in his hands. 15 and 10. Was on a 4 streak at the time. If you're EnVy, try and take as much time as you can here, but you're really trying to make it all back up on barn.
Assault on his belly right now as he is tagged up, trying to play his life. Finally, they get vertical, take him out. And that's 2 kills now to EnVy. Exotic trying to turn the tides, but he will be cut down as well. And be trying to get some time here with just under 30 to go in this hard point. They can bring it back to basically an even game if they can lock it down. Slasher doing what he does best, controlling these long sight lines with the NV4, making sure he just gets an edge of his body in there to pick up some time as well. And now wrapping back his Apathy. This is a big one-on-one gunfight. It's him and Priesta in the back. I don't know if he realizes Priesta is tucked away in the corner. He's now spotted him, and he wins it. Nice kill for Apathy there to secure the spawns now for barn.
Now EnVy with the chance to make a lot of that time they lost earlier back. Slasher on a 4 streak. They let him get inside of the hill or closer towards those Trinities. As his 3 teammates die. Let's see how he plays this. So he plays for the... Look like he's going to play for the streaks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like this. Just wrap to the back, see if you can pick off 1 or 2 players. You don't really have a chance there to do much else. He knew there was someone pushing into this top ticket or pushing around through the alley there in front of Grandma, so he had to try and get away to a more secure position. This doesn't work out. Now can EnVy get a break with 30 seconds left here on barn? There's 3 kills, only 1 player remaining, but it's Priesta who's been hot. Priesta shot the shins, and Apathy gets the kill.
Apathy flies in, picking up 4 in a row. It's EnVy mounting some time here. They've gone over the 100-point mark. They can get within 1 if they hold the remainder of this time, but with that contest and the Cloud9 take, that will not happen. But EnVy setting up for bike path. This just has all the makings of something where EnVy, they just catch fire for, 45, 50 seconds. They get 1 guy with a streak, and then they end up making a ton of time back, and they put this game out of question.
Oh, or do we get another 250 to 249? That's what I'm rooting for. Let's see what Exotic can do as he's hitting off the brick wall run, just trying to get eyes on top middle. He gets the call out. There's 1 behind a lemon. Nice shots there on JCap. They dominated this hard point the first time through, and they continue to do it. I mean, you didn't even really get that much of a contest out of EnVy the first time through, and here they're getting pushed back again. Yes, they have spawns for the next hard point, but they haven't even been able to contest. You have Exotic FTLing into your spawn, basically, to try and keep out of the pressure, and that's what I was talking about. They push up, they flip the spawn. That's when you want to do it. Early in the hard point, no. But now that you want to set up, give them the split spawn, get the kills. Now they're spawning the entire way out there at Lemon, and you're set up. That was fantastic from Cloud9.
And here's C9's opportunity to put this game out of reach. Coming into baseball here, they have the spawns. see if they can hold it down as see JCap and go pushing forward a little bit. JCap gets one weak, slides in, takes out Priesta. Now where we said C9 had control, here comes the flood from EnVy. They break it instantly.
Bye-bye, EnVy. Back in. They did an excellent job at Basefield, our first rotation. They have 45 more points they can pick up here. Apathy, the man inside, just pre-firing the underpass if any pressure comes that way. You can see the collapse building. As Priesta gets a kill there at blue, that opens things up for a two-pronged attack. Apathy has to wrap back, which opens things on the other side. And then he runs in to the K-bar of Aches, who will now be in control of the hard point. 15-point advantage right now for EnVy. They're going to take one more crack at this, it looks like.
So EnVy trying to get on the hill here. Cloud9 backs up, lets them onto the hill. It's now Aches sliding in. He's got one to his right, one to his left. It'll be the last 5 seconds or so. They'll go to EnVy, but Cloud9 still with the lead. EnVy, though, is chipped away. They've made this a much closer game.
Yeah, and you know, you don't always see teams go for it when there's 10 to 15 points, but when you're spawning at blue like that, you're so close. EnVy flies through. They get, what, 7 or so points, I think, out of that, but still going to be trailing here. JCap and company trying to fight back, and right now they're getting it done. That's 4 kills in a row for EnVy. Can they add more onto that? JCap right now on a 3 streak. Just a kill or 2 off of that Centurion. He's going to get pressured from every angle, and he's fried.
You see John just watching this up top window. Such a power position to hold down, especially the opponent's top window. If you get up into that area, really stops them from pushing out towards that mid-map. You see Apathy has gotten in here now. He's trying to push forward. Maybe trying to play for those barn spawns, pick up a few kills, go all the way back, but it's not working out. It's JCap. Aches goes up high, not able to win that fight as JCap, as now Aches put together 2 in a row. He's on the hill in the middle. But EnVy has taken the lead. Now we go over to Barn, Clint, and it's going to be Cloud9 sit up. Can they hold it, though? Yeah,
last time it was Apathy and Priesta kind of fighting in a 1v1 for control. This time Cloud9 has everybody set up, and it's going to be a 4-man retake. You do have reactive armor to invest if you decide to make the play. The camo does get popped, trying to locate him. He's completely lost him. Assault gets one. Apathy actually ends up finally getting the camo player that ran past him.
They popped the camo, but everybody else died immediately. So you don't really get much of anything for the camo. And you know, Priesta playing close, is able to take Apathy out right away. I think there's one player to his left, and they're able to find Slasher, but still a ton of time here going to EnVy. So now Cloud9, they break, they retake the hill with 20 seconds to go. And get over the 200-point marker here. This is going to come down to baseball, like we see a lot of these games do. Awful nade there.
No, that's just a unfortunate sequence of events. That is not the bounce you expect that grenade to take. It's like it hit a wall, it comes right back at him. Whoops.
I know. So now we'll go to baseball, a bike path. So the next hill will be baseball after this, but EnVy leaves Barn with the lead. They have bounced back in this game. Cloud9 has been in the lead for most of the game. Now, it's kind of what we imagined, though. At least I thought it would just take, you know, a solid 30, 40 seconds for EnVy to swing this game in their favor. They've hung around long enough that now they could put it out of question here on bike path. I mean, you take the rest of this time, 30 seconds left on the hill. Now you put yourself in a really good spot. You'll have 2-3 attempts at baseball. And the overall game clock, not a lot of time left as well, minute 5.
JCap's trying to juggle this if he can. If a teammate can pick somebody up, because he can get this Trinity rocket. He pushes forward, there it is. Now he gets the time at the hard point again, trying to get one more assist, and he's got a bombardment to go with. And with this advantage, this hard point that's coming up, and streaks for Cap, you would think they close it out here. You know Camo's already been burned for Cloud9. They have no other payloads to work with, no streaks to work with. You have a ton in the back pocket for EnVy. But the team at the hard point for now is Cloud9.
Yeah, you would like that camo if you were Cloud9 right now.
Oh, he doesn't get called in?
He doesn't get it in. So Assault's going to pick up Cap before he can drop down Trinity, and that's going to ruin the push there.
Can we go to Cap now? Can we go to Cap off spawn?
So here it comes.
What was that at?
Oh, that one's out of bounds.
That rocket just hit Breakout. JCap now trying to fight over. He did at least get one. They've gotten it in. They need 10 more seconds.
Look how far the spawns are here for C9. They have maybe one attempt to get towards the hill. It doesn't even look likely.
It is done. 8-0 is EnVy in hardpoint as they secure the victory over Cloud9. It was the late games, right? When it was coming down to crunch time, it seemed like EnVy was always the squad getting the edge.
Yeah, Cloud9 had control for most of that game, and then it was that, I think it was the second barn hill that we saw come up. That's where the control went to EnVy. You see Cloud9, they look pretty frustrated with each other on the stage. They're talking about something. Something went wrong in that hardpoint game that it really looks like may have ticked those guys off.
Well, you talked about the averages in the hardpoint. That game not going to be affecting them very much. That's right in that realm, right? Like 250 to 200. But yeah, for Cloud9, I don't know what it is that needs to change maybe to get you over the hump in some of these games. Maybe it's just experience and time with the actual team. If it's a misplay here and there, I mean, if you've seen Optic make those mistakes, and they've been together for 2 years. So for Cloud9, maybe it's just a little bit more practice to get the kinks figured out. Well, that'll do it from Matt and I. We'll let the Benson and the boys break it down.
Thank you very much, Maven. Cloud9 putting up a little bit of a fight there, but EnVy, of course, do secure the best of 5 win. Welcome back to the wonderful Merc.
I'm back.
Oh, God, I've missed you.
I was gone for a day, man.
You were gone.
Yeah.
It was oh, I'm glad you're back. Let's just put it that way. Matt's not the same on the desk. You're much better.
Yeah, I think I saw one of his notes was about Game of Thrones tonight.
It was.
Yeah.
He's very excited about that.
Loves his analysis.
As are so many people. But obviously talking a little bit about EnVy versus Cloud9. Something interesting which we heard Maven bring up at the very, very beginning was if EnVy had 3-0'd there could have been a crazy situation where at the end of the day, if EnVy beat Optic Gaming 3-2, everything would have been tied and they would have had to play another best of 5. Losing that map, though, to Cloud9 will mean that that is now impossible. We can't see another best of 5, which would have been kind of cool to see. It would have been a cool storyline. But it just means the outcome of that game later on means just a little bit more. And obviously, no playoff match would have to occur. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about map number 1 in that series, though. It was, of course, Hardpoint on Breakout, 250 to 249. Teep, what a final hill that was.
Cloud9 just cannot close out these hard points. How many times throughout this weekend have they gone down to lose by just a couple of points? Just one in this one. But overall, I think the way they need to fix that problem, the casters touched on it a bit, is I think they need to take more risks on that final rotation. When it is coming down to the wire, they obviously love to play that long game in hardpoint. So maybe just taking more risks in the last, I don't know, 30 to 45 seconds, sending multiple people on a rotation rather than waiting so long at the end, because they always get caught out on that last hardpoint. We saw it's almost the same thing on Throwback there on map number 4. So maybe they can just take a bit more risks at the end of the game. I don't know really what else to do. They play a really good hardpoint for 90% of it and then just kind of throw it away at the end.
No, I thought the hardpoint game was a great game overall. I thought that both teams are doing a great job not only rotating but breaking each other's setups, which is very difficult to do on Breakout. But the one thing that stuck out to me was it was 101 to 43, I think, on Grave. And, you know, EnVy, they had the last 30 seconds of that last Grave hill to sort of win the game. So Cloud9 obviously doing an excellent job there, sort of winning that money hill, just not able to close it out.
I'm curious to see how Cloud9 players kind of framed this weekend in terms of the grand scheme of things, obviously, because you look at so many of their games, right? They've been close. Yeah, we've mentioned it so many times. You don't get a participation award here, right? Yeah, you have to finish top 2. But you look at the Hardpoint against Optic Gaming. They were close. Even ever, you're losing by a point. I definitely want to see them kind of go home and just kind of continue to practice. You kind of made that point. You know, this is a team made for COD champs, Momo.
I think that as well. And, you know, these guys have got 2 weeks after this. They don't have to worry about the last chance qualifier. They don't have to worry about the playoffs. I'm sure they'd love to. But obviously, they can go home and just watch back this whole weekend and go, you know, if we'd rotated earlier on this one, if we'd, you know, picked up some more time and didn't rotate, you know, so early on that one, and just try and fix those little kinks, because first game of the day on day 1, they were, what, 10, 15 points away from beating Optic. 249, they get 232 here.
They've all been close.
Every single time. And I think, yes, it's annoying and frustrating that you're that close and you're losing, but in time, if they put the time in, they can change that. They can turn those, some of them, obviously, into victories as well, and I think they will do. Plus, a very, very hard group for Cloud9. This is not easy. You know, come COD champs, I think they'll be able to finish out some of those hard points.
Completely agree. Of course, EnVy want to open the series. They then go to the Search and Destroy, and this was obviously a good one for Cloud9. They take it 6-3, the only map they took in the series. Priest at 13-4 puts up a 3.25. A very, very good performance from him, too.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Basically, Priest to take over on that one. The biggest thing that Cloud9 needs to focus on, from what I've seen throughout Search throughout the weekend, is Pat just having really slow starts. Luckily, they're able to bounce back and take this one somewhat comfortable at 6-3. And I don't know whether to attribute this to EnVy's Search and Destroy being kind of weak, or Cloud9 just playing a pretty solid game overall. But regardless, Priest is just winning, able to win so many gunfights. Aches is able to bounce back. So I don't know. It's tough to call on that one.
And that's an interesting conversation because obviously, Joe, I know you weren't here yesterday, but EnVyUs S&D looked a lot better. Whereas here, I don't want to say it looked like day one S&D because they definitely didn't. But it still seems to be that thorn in their side.
It's very sloppy overall. I think you can just watch to see how many times they're first blooded, and then once they're first blooded, there's not a response, right? Nobody's trading that kill. That's an issue. Definitely one of those maps, maybe Retaliation, just something they have to work on. Obviously, I believe their hardpoint has been spectacular this entire weekend. Their uplink, and going back to last year, their respawns were so good, right? Their teamwork, and you can see that they've been getting better and better. They're doing things more together. In S&D, though, there's still some weaknesses.
Definitely agree. Of course, at this point, series tied 1-1. Remember, we go into the uplink, map 3, and pretty low-scoring matchup, to be completely honest. 1-0 at the half. It finishes 3-0 in Team EnVyUs' favor. It was just very, very good defensive plays, I guess, all around.
Yeah, I think Frost can end this way sometimes when you get two teams that go kind of head-to-head and are very similar in a sense. Again, you know, it was that kind of debate of, you know, Priester, and I felt he's had a really good series. His S&D and his second half point were fantastic. But right from the get-go, you know, the Envy were just kind of that one step ahead. Plus, the one thing I will say is that half the time Assault was throwing the drone down that middle hole was just annoying me. Really frustrating to see that. He, you know, taking routes, which, okay, I understand. But overall, you can see that Envy just kind of had the advantage a little bit on the Slain side. Apathy, not had the best game, but, you know, overall as a 4.
I mean, he's just trying to use his camo, right? Like, he's just like, grab it, grab the ledge, and it's not happening. I mean, they're only down 3 points at that time with a minute left. He has camo. They're just trying to use it. Unfortunately, I just can't grab the ledge. I don't know.
Love a good old-fashioned Maven mishap right there.
It's like something out of a movie, that. Right. It's like, you know,
so close.
He's just holding on to the edge that, no, I'm down. Go on without me. I'm fine.
Stepping on his
hands. He's like, no, down you go. Of course, Envy do win map 3 uplink. We then go over to the final hard point. And again, pretty close one, 250 to 213. JCap, of course, was a player we all kind of said, hey, yeah, he needs to come out and have one of those good performances. Obviously, Matt picked him as his player who needs to impress today. Team, I think it's fair to say JCap did just that.
Oh, definitely stepped it up on that hard point there. Aches was the one on this throwback specifically that fell far, far behind. I think he ended at 17-30, 17-31, so obviously not enough to keep up in this one. I think that's why the score got away from them a bit. The fact that they still kept it so close with a scoreline like that, very impressive in itself, but still, going down to that last hardpoint, Cloud9, it's just they've been very consistent in hardpoint in losing on the last one. It's just little things that I think they need to go back and watch the VOD and realize how they can sort of get a bigger lead going on, because it's always just tied every single time they're playing these hardpoints, which is very solid against these top teams. But man, I feel like for how good they are at a lot of these hardpoint maps, they should be winning them more convincingly.
Definitely agree. Of course, congratulations to Team EnVyUs with that win. That sets up, as we kind of expected, the battle for the #1 seed to close out the day with Optic Gaming versus Team EnVyUs. Before we get there, though, we still have another match to show you, Cloud9 versus Epsilon. But since we have a brief moment, we should advertise Call of Duty World Championship tickets are on sale now. Purchase them at mlg.tv/CWL Champs. Call of Duty World Championship August 9th through 13th. And as I mentioned, of course, we had that Cloud9 versus Epsilon matchup, and I can tell you the Cloud9 boys have been in a pretty riveted, heated discussion since that last match, which I think is a good thing, Joe.
No, absolutely. Again, this team was not formed to just win Anaheim, to win Stage 2. Would they like to? Absolutely. This team was formed to perform at Champs, right? Like, that's where Aches wanted these young guns to really step up. We can get a top 3 placing there, and again, I was talking to you earlier, Ben. This could be a day where Cloud9 sort of spoils things for us if they beat Envy just there, because they're a team who understands the situation they're in. They're just practicing for Champs, and they're just trying to get better.
Yeah, very, very true indeed. Cloud9, of course, sat there still being very, very vocal. And I guess to that point, Teep, do you see this Cloud9 team maybe getting enough experience in today where you would feel comfortable seeing them perform well at COD Champs, or is it still way too early to tell, in your opinion?
I don't know if I'd attribute it to just today. I think they need to, it's how they react off of this weekend, in my opinion. Go back, and when you have the time to watch the VODs, when they go back and get some quality practice while other teams are at playoffs, maybe you stay, try and get some more scrims in on LAN. I don't know exactly what the thought process is going to be practicing for Champs for these guys, but overall, the potential is obviously there. Priester, one of the most elite ERAD players we have thus far. He's been up and down throughout this weekend, though. He needs to figure out his consistency issues. Exotic hasn't really been that top-tier player either at times for me. I don't know if I'm really sold on him just yet. And then Pat.
That's the issue, right?
Yeah,
They're
Pat's
not top tier.
Pat's been an issue, a liability on this Cloud9 roster for quite a while now. He has some good games, but does he have them enough to really, be at this top level still? You still have to question the guy. He does have that leadership. We've gone on and on about the guy for this whole year, but the fact is, 17 and 30s, that happens a little bit too often for Pat. That doesn't cut it.
Yeah, it's true.
Simple as that.
It's hard to win hard points doing that. It really is.
And they still keep it close.
All you want. You can have all these discussions, but going almost double negative versus a team like EnVyUs or Optic, you're not going to win.
Unless you have your teammates go completely off, but that's just not reliable.
Yeah.
You need to be slaying. End of discussion, right? You do need to be picking up those kills.
I was going to say, Priest went 37 and 18 on that one. They still,
there you go.
it's a prime example of what we've just seen there. So, he picks up 25 in that instead of 18. Game, maybe.
And we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday. Pat obviously using a sub, using an AR. Joe, you obviously weren't here. What's your opinion on that? Like, should Pat just solely be using that sub, that ERAD?
I mean, it's tough to use two, simply just because of the maps and just sort of the way the K-bar is and how strong the NV4 is. But yeah, I would like to see him use it more when you sort of see primetime Pat and throughout his career.
Right.
He has a submachine gun. Black Ops 2 goes. He's using a sub, putting a lot of aggression. He can help out Priest. I mean, allow Exotic to be that K-bar. Obviously, Assault is a great NV4, one of the best in the world. Keep it in his hands, Pat. I think he just likes to pick up some kills to be
Even with Pat throughout the years, he's always that guy that has to switch his class. I don't know what it is, if it's ADHD or what exactly, but always switching his weapon just on the fly. And his argument all the time is like, oh, I just felt like we needed it. That's completely fine when you're getting 30 kills. If you're having a positive KD, if you're completely switching up the style of play that your team is playing at, the pace of it, and you're going negative, well, isn't that just a double? That's a double negative.
Yeah, it can be a little tough, that's for sure. I mean, we'll take a look at the maps for the series. Of course, Throwback Hardpoint, Retaliation S&D, Throwback Uplink. Momo, when you look at this, does Epsilon finish 0-6, or do they get that first series win?
I think they do finish 0-6 is the answer. But I just think Cloud9, they have such a good attitude right now. I think in day 3, they know they're not making playoffs, but just kind of judging from Epsilon's first game against Optic, and I could hear them laughing on the stage. And don't get me wrong, have some fun. Video games, it is fun, but there's a lot of money on the line as well. I just hope they're both taking this seriously. For Epsilon as well, if I'm on Epsilon's roster now, I'm talking to my team and going, we are not going 0-6. This is an embarrassment for us to be in this. I don't care how hard our group is. I don't care who we're playing. But if we go 0-6, that's an embarrassment to ourselves. I just want to see a close game here, but I would favor Cloud9, especially looking at the maps. You've not got Epsilon's kind of a favored ones there. I'd go Cloud9 3-0 or 3-1.
3-0 or 3-1. Well, we're now halfway through day 3 here at week 4 of stage 2 at the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. We still have 2 more matches to be played today, including the Classico to close out the day for the #1 seed from the group, Optic Gaming versus Team EnVyUs. But up next, Cloud9 take on Epsilon on the MLG main stage.